Welcome back. Elon Musk reporting that FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried donated more than $1 billion to Democrats before the crypto firm's collapse. Far more than many expected. A lot of people talking about the $40 million that was donated, in some cases to Republicans, but there was $1 billion to Democrats. Musk also raising questions of where all that money went. Joining me right now is Pastel Network co-founder and Innovating Capital general partner, Anthony Georgiadis. And Anthony, it's great to have you this morning. I guess, one question to ask is a lot of people are waiting to see when Sam Bankman-Fried is going to testify. So connect the dots for us. He donates $1 billion to Democrats, and now he's going to sit there in a room and get questioned under oath by the same people, the Democrats, after he just gave them $1 billion, and we're supposed to believe this?
Right. It's very confusing. I guess first, there are a lot of big numbers going around. The publicly disclosed amount is about $46.5 million. He's recently come out and said he's donated a lot more to the GOP through basically dark donations. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time till we have a lot more clarity in terms of just exactly how much has been donated and to whom. We're actually seeing some Democrats starting to return some of the donations or give them away to charitable causes, but it doesn't really put a dent into the full impact that he's actually donated to the Democratic Party. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. And he's come out and said he will testify, but very much so likely not before the December 13th hearings, simply given the fact that he hasn't had enough time to get his ducks in a row.
Yeah, healthcare startup CEO Will Mandis tweeted this the other day. SBF donating $40 million to not go to jail for stealing $10 billion is one of the highest return on investment trades of all time, referring to the known number of donations that we know of, 40 million. But Elon Musk is talking about this billion. What do you think the answer to his question is? Where's the money?
Right. So this is a very, very opaque situation. Obviously, if you trace it back, it began with a gross mismanagement of funds, commingling of assets between customer deposits, collateral positions, obviously operational expenditures. And so it's going to take time to really trace back where exactly assets have been commingled, where they're parked today, and how they've basically been deployed, and what we can claw back effectively to make customers and creditors as whole as possible.
I mean, are those lawmakers going to be tough on what took place here, given the fact that they were the recipients of all that money?
They have a responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to look at this in a much more non-biased perspective here. And I actually hope that this gives them further incentive to take a more broader stance on the digital asset market. Actually, one thing that we're starting to look at is basically the December 16th spending bill that should come into place here. And Congress for quite some time has been relatively passive with respect to passing any sort of stringent regulatory or legislation in the crypto space. And I actually think that this will give them some further motivation and really instill some responsibility for them to get something done coming up to this December 16th spending bill. A couple of those things that could potentially make their way would be monumental to the digital asset market, providing for some more regulatory color that will actually further instill some of that institutional adoption and broader traction that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if all of this money, all of these donations have in fact affected the amount of regulation this guy has faced. And, now we know he was taking advantage of the situation and his position in power. But, there were no regulations that actually materialized. The Federal Trade Commission has confirmed that it has opened investigations into several crypto firms for possible misconduct. What does that say about the future of crypto? How does this impact the entire digital space?
Certainly. Actually, I view this to be one of the interesting positive outcomes from this whole obviously detrimental situation. As you mentioned, right, the FTC is coming in and they're starting to investigate certain firms for misconduct, misleading certain retail investors. And as I alluded to before, one of the positive impacts is a digital asset piece of legislation coming into this December 16th bill. We're mainly watching kind of three key aspects. Number one, some regulation around stablecoins. Number two, clarity around the definition of a broker-dealer, which would impact businesses from DeFi to mining, et cetera. And then number three, some tax exemptions around small transactions.
No,
right,
I just want to add one thing. No one who was trading crypto, no one investing in it, whatever, gambling with it, speculating with it, putting their money on any of these platforms had any expectation of regulation. It was very clear that these platforms were lightly, if completely unregulated, regardless of where the money was going in terms of political donations. No politician, no regulator wanted to stop the party and take the Kool-Aid away from the kiddies. They were having a really wonderful time and nobody wanted to stop it. It's the same thing with TikTok. And by the way, the FTC, shame on them. They have broad authority to deal with consumer fraud, and they didn't do jack about it. Do you know that you can't sell paint in this country and say, oh, our paint, this can will cover 400 feet and it only covers 200 feet? You can't even say that without the FTC cracking down on you. They have broad authority to stop consumer fraud in this country. Crypto was regulated like a collectible. Again, when I call it digital beanie babies, that's exactly how it was treated. It wasn't treated like gambling. It wasn't treated like securities. And this is what happens. People were playing with it, gambling with it, and speculating with it because the government wasn't involved with it. And this is what happens. You get defrauded. This was a registered.
I don't know that they actually understood the market. You know, I don't know.
You know what?
That these
It's caveat emptor. It is caveat emptor.
One comment to that briefly. There's been gross mismanagement of assets, corruption, basically fail points in corporate governance in any asset class that's existed. You've seen it in equities. You've seen it in fiat currencies. It's not necessarily completely correlated directly to the underlying asset itself. Crypto still runs completely transparent, verifiable today. It has nothing to do with the underlying protocols or code itself. This is a case in point class of corruption and really corporate mismanagement.
There's so many con artists still out there peddling this garbage, and I want to know what the government and the regulators and the politicians are doing about all of those hucksters who are still on Twitter and on social media peddling this just detritus to unsuspecting
children.
We'll
have to be keeping a spotlight on that. Anthony, thank you. Anthony Georgiadis.